Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today, it's going to be fantasy and action here on Butter. It's another RJB replay, but you know that already, don't you? Top right, it's going to be our White Terran. It is fantasy, and in the bottom right, it is action. Man, I am excited to see how fantasy matches up against action. Action is an incredible Zerg player. He is an incredible macro Zerg player, especially. I don't think... Is Butter a macro map? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 bases with contesting the left side and the right side here, right? So we will see. So Steve the SCV moving out, walling off the natural. Top. And Terra the Overlord scouting out to see what is going on out here on Butter. A two-player map, right side top, right side bottom. Very interesting design for a Brood War map. And this is going to be a hatch first on a two-player map from action. Yes, it is. This drone has a mission, and that is to turn himself into a hatchery. Kapow. There we be. Barracks coming up. No crazy command center first play from the Terran player on a two-player map without scouting. That would be insane. That would be one of the biggest gambles in all of StarCraft, man. And all's well here on this desert tile set, which is appropriate because I am posting this in the month of August, which is super hot in the northern hemisphere. Not the southern hemisphere, though. It's cold down that way. And I think everybody knows how that works, right? Everybody went to school on some level to learn how the different seasons work depending on which hemisphere you are in the world. Potentially, yes. Ka-chow. There we go. So one rack expand timing here from Fantasy. Drone sees... Look at this drone scout. I mean, yes, look. You're going to go hatch first on a two-player map against somebody as strong as Fantasy is. Then let's drone scout, right, Zergs? Let's just make sure it's not a 2-racks opening, because you will die to that if you go hatch first and don't scout it out. Terry, get to that high ground, buddy. Get up. Yes, nicely done. Well executed. The drone also served the secondary purpose of distracting this Marine to not just kill this Overlord as soon as he popped into this area. Gave him the time to get up to this high ground to get the scouting off. That was pretty sweet. As always, let's go for a lair before getting metabolic boost. That is a major change to the meta. Seems like most of the older games that I cast, the ones from, 2008, 2009, 2010, 11, 12, there was a lot of getting speed first, but over the years, as Zerg players figured out, I don't really need metabolic boost that early. Unless I'm planning on being aggressive with the Lings, or unless there's kind of a 2-racks something aggressive coming to kill me. So, if we're just both playing 1-racks expand, hatch first type stuff, let's just go ahead and get the lair first, get metabolic boost next. We don't want to skip it entirely, because that would be dumb. But, getting it second is fine. Ooh, pretty quick factory here. Oh, this could not possibly be a mech play. Where are my Terran fans? My Terran fans are like, please use mech against these Zergs. The win rate for SK Terran on Falcon's channel is not good enough. And yeah, you know what I think it is? I think we've had similar talks like this before. Ooh, second gas is probably a lot of mutas. We've talked about similar things before, but I cast longer macro games, right? But that's not StarCraft. A lot of StarCraft is games that end in 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, right? And it's potentially just the truth here that SK Terran is really good if you can win in 5, 10, 15 minutes against Zerg. But if you let the Zerg get into 20 minutes, 25 minutes, right? Then suddenly, oh, they've got Ultras out, and oh, they've got Cracklings out, and oh, my SK Terran strategy is not as strong as it once was. And then the win rate falls down. Possible. Entirely possible. But also, we do see plenty of wins with SK Terrans against late-game Zergs. It's not easy. You really got to get out of those Dark Swarms immediately. You have to keep your Science Vessels alive and irradiate the crap out of those Ultras as soon as they pop out of those eggs, man. If you can irradiate Ultras consistently and stay out of Dark Swarm, you can beat SK Terran. It's just not easy. Once, again, those Ultras, those upgrades are out. Quick Armory. Starport? It's like a vulture drop. I guess that kind of counts as mech. Hydra Den out. 5 mutas on the way. +1 flyer attack says. Dem mutas. Good scan. Sees the second gas is already taken. I mean, at 5.5 minutes, that's pretty normal stuff. It's not 2-port Wraith, is it? I don't know. If RJB sent it to me, it could be as interesting as a 2-port Wraith, man. What's the armory for this early? It's a Valkyrie opening against a very obvious 2-base Muta opening from Action. Okay. Mutas are here. Turrets, Marines doing what they can until the Valkyrie pops. Got 4 Mutas. Got a handful of Lings out here at the front. No second gas. Okay, no second gas here from Fantasy. Very cool stuff. Oh, we do love Valkyries, don't we? Valkyries are fun. Evolution Chamber here from the Zergy Zerg. Oh, he canceled that +1 flyer attack to go for +1 flyer Carapace. And going into Lurker aspect, too. I think he knows Valkyries are coming. It's like a little bit of a tankier setup for my Mutas will be good. I don't know. If I, as a Zerg player, if I knew Valkyries were coming, I think I'd just skip Mutas entirely. And go pretty much straight just for Mass Hydra. Be like, you just invested a ton of stuff, ton of resources, time, tech into a unit that can't shoot down. You don't have any tanks. Let's show up with Hydra Lurker and just kick your butt, right? That's how I'd feel about it. So he sees the Hydra Den, sees the Spire, sees the Evo Chamber. All this stuff is fine. But, you know, I think most pro players would be like, I can get Scourge Connects on these Valkyries. I can kill the Valks, and my Mutas are fine. What are you worried about? Yeah, Valkyrie attacks. Does Scourge connect? Yeah, it looks like 1 connected there. Maybe. Another Valkyrie. Uh-oh, Action. You're being a little stubborn here, bro. He just started making Hydras. He's making Lurkers. Okay, fine. Look at ship weapons upgrade, too. We're getting +1 Valkyries, ladies and gentlemen. Lurker Trap is Trapalicious. Oh, man. 9 kills on that Lurker. Woohoo! Macro hatch on the way from Action. Fantasy may be in a spot of trouble here, mate. Yeah, all these Mutas are dead. Goodbye, Mutas. But also, Lurkers at your front are a major problem if you don't have any tanks. Guess who has a tank? Fantasy does. Hey! Oh, these clumped up... Okay, there's a single Hydra. I was going to say, clumped up Overlord's dead. Just kidding. There's 1 Hydra. 2 Hydras now. Siege mode on the way. Oh, this is tight. This is a dicey situation for Fantasy. Another macro hatch and the Queen's Nest. Remember what I said about our guy, Action, and his macro capabilities? Yes. Because of the macro hatches. He's not the only one that does it, obviously. But, man, he does it more consistently than any other Zerg, I feel like. More Valks. Are we still making Mutas? They're all dead, Action. Please don't make any more Mutas. I don't think he is. But Scourge to try to deal with the Valks is fine. Never going to complain about Scourge against a player that's going Corsairs or Valkyries. Scourge, 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 Hydra, 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 Lurker, 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 but that's what the siege tanks are for. The tanks are for the Hydras and for the Lurks. Not a giant SK Terran play here. Thing about Lurker Traps is you can do it once per game. get away with it, but man, the second time you do it and the third time you do it, the Terran's going to be super ultra careful about it. It's hard to get 2 lurker traps off against somebody as good as Fantasy. Let's see if you can pull it off, though. Action, man. Lurkers, Hydras, and a Hive on the way. Yeah, I'm happy whenever this posts, everybody. Hope you're having a great time. Hit that like button if you're enjoying this game. It's a good free way to support the channel. Just helps the channel grow. That's it. If you enjoy the content, I think you should tell the algorithm that other people would enjoy the content too. One Valk down, but that was a lot of Scourge out. I'm not sure if that was a good trade. The Marines are just like, this is not the position for us, sir. Not what these lurkers about. More factories. Fantasy. Fantasy. Let's do it. Go with the mech. Oh, every Terran fan on my channel is like, yes. Why is there not more of this? Now, keep in mind, mech does not mean insta-win for the Terran against Zerg. It's not what that means. So it's a 2-base Marine tanky push. I don't know about this 4th base from action. I'm fine with you having a 3rd here against a 2-basing Terran, but once a 2-basing Terran starts moving out, your 4th base may be a little bit too much. Yeah, lurkers say, oh, there are siege tanks coming. Right, well, I got Adrenalings on the way. Oh, yeah. Vulture movement. Vehicle weapon upgrades coming in. Did he finish that +2 for his Valks? Yeah, these guys. I don't think these guys are going to do super well. No. Looks like he canceled the +2 air weapons to instead go for a vehicle weapon upgrade. I think that's fair. Ah! Lurker trapped. Run! Oh, gosh. Aha! But siege tank trapped on the other side, too. This is an interesting game for sure. I like that RJB sent me this one, man. Valkyries. And mech transition at 12 minutes. Oh, look who's back into mutas now. Action. Man, these Zerg players are so stubborn with their mutas sometimes. Dude, they're +1 Valkyries out. Oh, hey, look at that. A 3rd base just landed from Fantasy. So, no. Never mind. 3-basing Terran, your 4th base is okay. Action, you're alright, man. Siege tank spread here, just trying to cover this entire area against potential Ling Lurker Hydra drops. Well, not, like, I mean, it doesn't help against the drops, does it? The drops can deal with that kind of a tank line. Vultures in the 4th base. Sunken up. Are you going to fight this sunken? Do not do that, boys. Alright, Lurker's getting into the 3rd base of Fantasy, though. Completely shutting it down. 53 SCVs to 42 drones, though. I like it. Focus I mean, what else can you focus here? The refinery and the ComSat station. That's really all you got, Lurker bros. Oh my gosh, they can't all just die, though, can they? Yes, they can. Mutas are out. They say, give me your spider mines. I shall eat them. Okay, all those lurkers died. Oh, there was an exit path there, guys. Mutas are like, oh, this is definitely mech. Let's try to kill these tanks. Where are the Valkyries? Oh no, but really, where did the Valkyries go? Here is one. Beautiful split, though. Oh, here's 2. Oh, I don't know if you're ready for the second one, Mutas. Actually, they're doing just fine. They got +2 Carapace. Oh, action tech switching back into the Mutas. Vulture got 8 kills. Not bad. Oh, look at that drone count. 55 now. Action repopulating that drone count like an absolute boss. This Muta stack, though, is not messing around. 3rd Valkyrie, maybe a little too much for these Mutas. They're deciding to back out here. Charon boosters on the way. More upgrades for mech here from Fantasy. Oh, there's no anti-air at the 3rd base whatsoever. I guess there's a turret down here, but it's not in position to cover the SCVs, which is sort of the whole entire point. Not very good Valkyrie micro from Fantasy. I feel like you could got a couple more shots off there with some really good Valk micro. I mean, I'm okay with you fighting a Lurker, Vulture Bros, but maybe not a Sunken. Just a thought. Ultralisk on the way. Action doesn't have a ton of resources to go for Ultras here. And I don't know if Ultras are what he wants anyway. There's Spider Mines everywhere. The tank count did just kind of get reset, though. So maybe that is a great idea. Action is saying, I killed several siege tanks back there. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 remaining. With 3 more on the way, though. Yeah, Mutas are pretty good against the Vulture Harass. They're fast, they can catch them, they can kill them without Vultures defending themselves at all. More Valkyries coming in. Yes, this is a weird, very, very, very strange game. It's Butter, though. Butter gives us weird games. Sort of the fun part about it in a lot of ways. Faster Overlord moving on the way. I mean, when's the last time we saw a Mutaflock in direct competition with a mech army, you know? This 2 Carapace is helping them so much. 5th base coming up left side from Action. More and more Valkyries being produced. No barracks. You cannot be free scouts to the Terran. I demand you die. My +0 mutas will have something to say about that. I don't know. 150 to 114 supply. Action's up a bunch. He's up about 3 workers. Lings running through the map for the sole purpose of triggering Spider Mines so the Ultras don't have to. Although this Ultra certainly is going to trigger some Spider Mines. Oh, man. Oh, did he kill that one? This Ultra's way deep into Terran territory. Doesn't get a lot done, mind you, but he's deep here. Oh, yeah. Cracklings against Goliath. Save us, tanks. And he does. Action still up about 40 supply here. Got his Cracklings. Got his Ultras. Defilers on the way. What do we just have a talk about here? Dark Swarm, Plague, Ultras, Cracklings. Against your SK Terran. That's not what this is, though. This is mech. Is it enough mech? And that's the discussion that I'm not sure has had a lot. Yeah, mech's really good against Ultras, but you need to have about 15, 20, 25 siege tanks to really obliterate a line of Ultras as they come and try to kill you. We've seen it. We've seen it done. But getting there is a little tricky if you're constantly losing SCVs, if your 4th base is maybe a little bit late because of the Muta Harass and because of the Hydra Lurker stuff. Oh, these Valkyries. Ow. Okay, Valkyrie's not getting anything done. Man, this has been a big week for Mutas, hasn't it? Yeah, man, we've seen Action use Mutas to an incredible extent. We've seen Larva use Mutas to an incredible extent here, too. Against Protoss, mind you, but I think it still counts. Man, the range on those Valkyries is amazing. Okay, here's that line of Ultras I was talking about. It's only 3 of them, but I think it still counts as a line. 185 to 130 supply. Spider Mines getting some good connections here. Siege tanks. Oh, Ultra down, Ultra down. Ultra super down. This guy's dead too. Yep. Lings rolling in though. Are they maybe a bigger problem here than the Ultras were? With the Dark Swarm, dude, this 4th base dying for Fantasy would be such a disaster for him. Oh no, the Dark Swarm Zergling stuff. Vultures, Goliaths, not doing anything about it. It is the dreaded Dark Swarm on top of yo base situation. With the Plague tossed out on the mech units here. This 4th base dying while there's a further expansion left side from Action for a 6th base. A 3-basing Terran, even if they're meching against a 6-basing Zerg, is not going to be a good time. absolutely insane. Dude, action. Monster. Oh, now he's dropping. Now the mana is dropping. And what have I always said about drops for Zergs? It increases their chance of winning a game by like 40%. That sounds like a lot, but I really believe it's the truth. The big problem with Lings, Ultras, Hydras, Lurkers is that they're relatively squishy. Running across open ground like this with Siege Tanks firing on them is not going to work. But if you can skip that whole running across the ground thing by simply dropping into the main base after plaguing your enemy's Valkyries. What a plague, by the way. And yo, Ling Ultra drop inside your main base. GG! What a hammer to put down to end that game. Action gets your win in 20 minutes and 43 seconds. Dude, Valkyries, Ultra drops. Muta's getting way more done than they had any right to here today. Yeah, action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total bases. He's throwing up creep colonies. But, I mean, he's got macro hatches here. He's got 2 macro hatches at the 3rd, or 4th, rather. He's got a macro hatch at the 4th, a macro hatch in the main. He's just, yeah, he's amazing. He's maxed out. He's developing a bank here. He knows the final play is going to be a big-time drop inside the main base, killing the production, killing some of the SCVs, the supply depots, the armories of the Terran player, and just ruining him. Yeah, very, very strange game. Opened up with the Marines, with the medics. The Valkyrie opening was a very specific choice here, and did kill a lot of mutas. Did completely reset the muta count at some point early in this game. But then action just came back to it. We got +2 Carapace for his mutas, continued to get Scourge, continued to fight with Valkyries when it was smart to do so and backing out when he didn't need to, but keeping those Valkyries worried, not just having them roaming around, hunting overlords to kill, finding random packs of mutas to kill. No, the Valkyries were the ones defending. They had to defend against attacks. And when the number wasn't big enough to do that, the mutas just completely helping to wipe out the 3rd base with those Lurkers. They're here in this final battle as well. They're not healthy, but that's a 9-kill muta. 15 kills. 15 kills on a muta might be the biggest number of kills I've seen on a mutalisk in a very long time. Insane. What a game from action here. So yeah, that is always the caveat. When you guys in the chat say, why didn't they just get a ton of tanks? Well, transitioning and getting into mech is a little bit hard. It takes time. And during that time, a skilled Zerg player will be harassing your 3rd base, messing with your 4th base. And before you can even get a big, scary tank army, this is happening to you. It's tough. It's tough out there for Terrans trying to mech. I mean, look, Terrans are the last 3 ASL winners. So I don't think they're struggling maybe as much as it would imply if you only watch my channel. But it's interesting out there right now for the Terran players against those Zergs. Even when you try to go mech, it's not a guaranteed win. I mean, is there a guaranteed win in StarCraft? No. 135,000 points from Action, 102 from Fantasy. Action, 480,000 points, or produced units to 300 produced units for the Terran. Terran did outkill Action here. Pretty decent ratio there, but this resources is going to be the big one, right? Yeah, not as big as I expected, actually. Only about 5,400 resources spent more by Action than Fantasy in this game, but over 20 minutes. So that's pretty good. Pretty good for the time spent there. But GG, man. Action, you scary. You're really, really, really scary, but GG nevertheless. Well done. Well done, Action, and that's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.